Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News at 11 starts now.
There's just something about Clawson.
That's something about Clawson is people that live in Clawson love Clawson.
A new restaurant is opening up and taking a very unusual approach about what it's putting on its menu.
Boy, do we have a lot to show you. New exclusive poll data tonight, talking everything from President Trump to the U.S. Senate race.
All right, Maura, we're going to begin, though, with temperatures in the teens as we get closer to some nasty weather coming our way, and a lot of it. Good to have you with us for Local 4 News at 11. Heavy rain, followed by freezing rain, and then even some snow showers in the weekend forecast.
Ben is here to break it all down for us, Ben.
It is not your typical winter storm, but this one could have an even bigger impact than just seeing a mess of snow. I'd like to show you where it is, but you really can't see much of anything. It's coming out of the Rockies. If we change the channel on the satellite, you can see it's just a wave right now. There's not any real precipitation along it, but as it gets here, this is what it's bringing with us. Liquid precipitation of 2 to 3 inches and possibly closer to 3.5 out here in the west and south zone. That's the total amount of liquid. What form that's going to take, that's still up in the air. Look at all the threats that are in play. Rain obviously is going to be the biggest factor, snow probably the least. This ice factor could be a little bit higher. The only reason it's not is because of timing. We're just sort of waiting on one more model run, and now that that system is onshore, our network can sense that a little bit better, so these evening runs will have a better idea. Lightning and thunder will be out there, and wind also in play. We'll break down all of these threats and look at the timing in just a few minutes. Kim?
We'll talk to you coming up in just a little bit. Right now, we've got some breaking news tonight in the long-running UAW corruption probe. According to a report from the Detroit News, UAW President Rory Gamble is now under federal investigation. According to the report, federal agents are investigating financial ties between Gamble and one of the union's highest-paid vendors. Gamble, who was voted UAW president just last month, is now the third consecutive union president linked to the years-long corruption probe.
We have new exclusive polling tonight on where Michigan stands as we head into the 2020 election. Now, like any polling, it is a snapshot in time. Our Mara McDonald live in the newsroom tonight with a closer look at that snapshot and the breakdown. We've got some surprises we're seeing, Mara.
Well, Devin, we do. And here is that entirety of that polling report. And just a note on methodology. This was done immediately following the drone strike that killed Qasem Soleimani in Iran. Now, as far as those surprises, number one, take a look at President Trump's favorable numbers. They've bumped up a little bit. And number two, wait till you see who the voters in this state think are the top 3 challengers to beat Trump. Whether you like or loathe this president, one thing this polling report found is that desire to vote is at an all-time high. On a 10-point scale, we're looking at 9.5. President Trump's job approval numbers are up over last year, and the approve versus disapprove, they're pretty evenly split.
There's a couple of point bump. It may be a statistical, within the margin of error. It could be just statistical. We'll watch that in surveys moving forward.
Here's where it gets interesting. Take a look at Trump's top 3 challengers here. Joe Biden, still number 1, but look at number 2. Mike Bloomberg, who is outpolling Bernie Sanders, who won the primary here in 2016, with Warren and Buttigieg at the bottom. And while opinions on whether the president's dealings with Ukraine were appropriate or not, 50.9% of you don't support impeachment. All of these numbers mean one thing. Michigan is a prime battleground in 2020 for a state that hasn't been competitive in decades and shocked the political pundits in 2016. The road to victory runs straight through here this year.
Michigan's going to matter. Michigan's going to be central to everybody's strategies in the presidential race this year. I think there are several states, the big 3 in the north, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin, are going to be determinant states in what happens.
Back here live, we are going to be putting the entirety of this polling report on clickondetroit.com. If you're interested in politics, I highly recommend you take a look at it. All the minutiae in here, it is incredibly interesting. Things like gender split, rural versus suburban versus urban. There's a lot to unpack here, Devin. Back to you.
There sure is. And we've got more numbers that we're going to be looking at in the morning on Local 4 News today, and more surprises.
There are some more surprises. We're going to take a look at the state numbers. You know, how do you think Governor Whitmer is doing? How do you think the state is doing? And the big one is that Senate race between incumbent Gary Peters and challenger John James. Those numbers are something to look at.
Yeah.
Back to you.
A lot to chew on. All right, Mara. Now, with Michigan and also Ohio set to play big roles in the 2020 election, President Trump making his first visit of the year. What we expect will be quite a few to the Midwest this year. Both he and Vice President Pence will be holding a campaign rally in Toledo, 7 p.m. tomorrow night at the Huntington Center downtown. Our Mara McDonald will be there for our live coverage beginning at 5 p.m. tomorrow afternoon.
The U.S. now believes Iran launched between 20 to 24 ballistic missiles at 2 military facilities in Iraq where U.S. forces are based. The chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff says Iran's goal was to kill Americans, but because U.S. forces had advance intelligence an attack was imminent, there were no casualties. Both the U.S. government and the Iranian regime moved to de-escalate the conflict today, although President Trump promised new economic sanctions. We spoke with Senator Gary Peters today after he was briefed about the situation.
I think right now what we have to be focused on is how do we de-escalate tensions that we've continued to see ramp up, particularly the last couple weeks. We're seeing a situation where we have a tit for tat of U.S. attacks and Iranian attacks, so that has to come to an end.
Well, the House is set to vote tomorrow on a resolution that would limit President Trump's military actions in Iran, something that, even if it passes the Republican-controlled Senate, could be vetoed by the president. In Ann Arbor, more than 100 people gathered tonight at the University of Michigan campus to rally against the escalating tensions between the U.S. and Iran. The rally was held on the steps of Angel Hall and included students, activists, and community members.
City of Madison Heights is now suing the owner of the site that's been leaking green ooze onto I-696.
Madison Heights wants Gary Sayers to tear down electroplating services so more testing can be done there. Sayers is currently in federal prison, but a judge ruled the case can move forward. It will start Monday. Meanwhile, another business linked to Sayers called Commonwealth Industries in Detroit will be inspected Friday.
Big news for more than 1,500 UAW workers tonight as they are made full-time employees. The union saying in a statement more than 900 General Motors temporary workers were elevated to full-time status this week. And earlier this month, more than 500 Ford workers were also hired on full-time. UAW says it's a good start, and they are working to secure full-time status for more GM workers at several locations. Well, a few restaurants have recently closed in downtown Clawson, leaving a lot of folks there wondering what might be replacing them.
Yeah, one was the Black Lotus Brewing Company right at 14 Mile in Maine. Jason Colthorpe is there tonight. Jason, there's an unusual story about what's replacing it.
Yeah, there certainly is, Kim, because when you consider the husband and wife team that will be moving into this space have no restaurant experience. He's in finance and real estate, and she's in advertising. But they do have some big ideas, starting with they're leasing twice the space, not just where the Black Lotus was, but they're doubling up with this storefront as well. And when it comes to what's going to be on the menu, well, they're going to leave a lot of that up to the people of Clawson. When some of Clawson's most prime real estate became available recently, the town started talking, including a couple that lived around the corner.
Every time we drove home and we passed it, we would strike up a passionate conversation about, whatever goes in there, it needs to be the right concept because Clawson is at this fork in the road.
Eventually, Tyler and Andrea Williams decided to take matters into their own hands.
We have this awesome concept and we pitched it and they're like, do you have any restaurant experience? And our answer was no, but they said, you have so much passion. And
so they had a concept and a name, Puma Chug, but something was still missing.
We want to bring something to the community that the community wants. Why don't we ask them?
They put out a survey about the menu and got a huge response.
I would say out of 2,500 responses, it's probably 500-600 people specifically mentioned wanting healthy options. We're going to keep those windows as they are, so you can get a real feel for hopefully the magic that we're able to create in the kitchen.
The magical motif will also include pieces of the history of Clawson, specifically at this corner of 14 and Main.
because there's actually quite a bit of history that I think will be fun to incorporate and be meaningful to the folks of Clawson and the surrounding area.
That is pretty cool, but I have to ask, where did they come up with that name?
Same question, yes.
Puma Chug?
It's the number one question. Yeah, Puma Chug. Well, Tyler gave me a history lesson on this because he knows Clawson. He's 4 generations Clawson. He said generations ago when you would come into town here at 14 in Maine, there was a cider mill and a lumber mill. When people would come to town, they'd hear the sound, Puma Chug, Puma Chug, Puma Chug, Puma Chug, Puma Chug. That was the sound that they would make, and there's different pronunciation spellings that came over time, but it's kind of a historical word, and I know their niece, Aubrey, who is holding the phone for us, she loves it, but they do admit it's love or hate. They've gotten a lot of response to the name of it as well, but it's catchy.
You have to admit that. Okay.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of it?
As long as folks love the restaurant, it's going to everybody will be fine. Yeah. All right, Jason.
Yeah.
New at 11.
It's a restaurant chain with a cult following.
I love Chick-fil-A.
And some very excitable fans. Coming up, we'll meet some of the locals willing to stick it out for their chance to win free fast food for a year.
A thief was in no hurry to leave after breaking into a Taco Bell. What he was doing for 3 hours.
But first, an attorney for the man accused of killing and mutilating a mid-Michigan man says his client is pleading insanity. That's not the only thing revealed in front of a judge today. That's next.
Still dealing with annoying robocalls? How you can cash in if you're getting calls from telemarketers. Help Me Hank shows you how it all works tomorrow starting at 6 a.m.
Tomorrow at 5. This winter, the snowplows haven't been out much, but snowplow parents sure have, clearing an easy path for their kids to succeed.
I know a lot of friends whose parents were watching their every move.
Sure, it's done out of love. You might not even realize you're doing it, but watch out.
Experts warn it's a parenting style that can do more harm than good.
What's the secret to raising independent kids?
How to get out of our kids' way so they can succeed.
Watch to find out tomorrow on Local 4 News at 5.